Ladies and gentlemen, history does not whisper, it speaks again and again with unmistakable clarity. From the grandeur of Rome to the golden cities of Mali, from the bustling markets of Istanbul to the scholarly halls of Timbuktu, empires have risen, shone, and crumbled, and each time their collapse was not truly caused by the sword from without, but by the silence within. They fell when trust broke down. They fell when elites hoarded power and wealth. They fell when pluralism, once their greatest strength, was suffocated by fear, corruption, and ethnic exclusion. And today, I ask us to look, not to the past, but to ourselves, to Sierra Leone. For if we are honest, we must admit that the same slow erosion that swallowed great empires is eating at the roots of our nation. Our statecraft is cracking, not all at once and not loudly, but cracks begin quietly. We see them when rural communities feel invisible to central decisions. We see them when tribal loyalties trump national unity. We see them when young people lose faith in the ballot and in the institutions meant to protect them. These are not just governance challenges. These are warnings. The very same patterns that broke Mali and Songhay are present here. Over-centralization, elite capture, ethnic politicization, cultural suppression, and yet history also offers us a way forward. In Sierra Leone's darkest hour, after war had scarred our land, it was not only government programs or foreign aid that restored peace. It was our people. It was our ritual systems. It was our elders. The Poro and Sunday societies did what institutions could not. They brought reconciliation, restored dignity, and rebuilt trust. That is the lesson we must learn again. We must rebuild the state, not just structurally but spiritually. And we must empower local governance, not just by name, but by giving absolute authority and resources. We must institutionalize pluralism, not as a political slogan, but as a daily reality. Let every language, every lineage, every region feel seen in the nation's story. We must stop treating culture as decoration and start treating it as the bedrock of governance. Law and ritual can coexist. Custom and constitution can strengthen each other. We must make fairness visible. Let taxes fund roads, schools, and clinics in every district, not just in capital cities. Let young people from every ethnicity believe they can lead, not by patronage, but by merit. And above all, we must tell a new national story. One not based on what divides us, but what binds us. Our shared survival, our shared struggle, and our shared hope. Let us be the generation that learns from the fall of empires, not by lamenting them, but by refusing to repeat them. Let us not wait for collapse. Let us choose cohesion. Let us build a Sierra Leone where no tribe is forgotten, no voice is ignored, and no child grows up believing their surname already decides their future. History will judge us, not by the titles we held, but by the trust we rebuilt. Let us begin. Thank you.
Down. Oh, my mic was on mute. I'm very much sorry, sir. I've been I've been talking over the last 8 minutes, I believe, without people hearing me. I'm very much sorry, people. First of all, let me say good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to everyone. Today, I would continue discussing what I started with the last time. And today's topic is that Sierra Leonean politics is more about PaOPA style of politics. Sierra Leonean politics, I don't care whether it's APC or SLPP or you name it, it's PaOPA style politics. And I have several illustrations and examples I'm going to give for Sierra Leoneans to begin to understand that it's their social psychology that is wrong, not the politics. We are as we think, and we become as we think. We manifest what we think. That's why I've always been saying it's best for us to go back, understand our anthropology, understand our history, understand our cultural dynamics. Then we would see why we behave the way we behave. What is very clear about the Sierra Leonean dynamics is that everybody is complaining about everybody. The next man is always wrong. We are not wrong. That is pauperism individually. It's not ego. It's a belief that we have to use impunity on others. We should enforce them to understand and accept that we are right. And there is no perfect man on earth. This, of course, has cultural connotations within several dynamics and within several areas. These dynamics became reinforced and concretized in society because in the past, there had to be some form of force to protect small groups of people, especially so at the time when there was this raid, taking people away by force, forcing people into labor they were not ready for, etc., etc. So over time, this habit, or whatever you call it, took expression as a culture, a kind of political culture. As I said in my last talk, it goes as far back as the 10th century. And it has a kind of regional distributive dynamics, if I would put it that way. People in Sierra Leone whose ancestors had their origins from some parts of West Africa had one way of looking at power dynamics, whereas others whose ancestors came from some other part of Africa or West Africa had another kind of social dynamics. But by and large, because at one point in time, that area of West Africa that today we call, maybe if we look at it from a broader perspective, the Mano River Union, was exposed to raids and such unexpected activities by slave traders, etc., etc. The dynamics of protection became very prominent. And so therefore, within that period, a culture of impunity by leaders developed. When later the British and the French and the other people came to colonize Africa, these dynamics took another turn because the dynamics of impunity was what they came with, the colonialists came with, what they used locally to control and enforce themselves on the people. So today, if we are talking about politics and power, it will be in our best interest not to westernize our thoughts. Let's go back to our culture and see what has been done wrong, how it has been done wrong, who did it, why it was done. Then we can begin to see how we can apply the principles that we are fighting so hard to apply, but which are not working. If I can take a short look at the regional and ethnic connections of the power dynamics that we have today in Sierra Leone, I would put two of them in a very broad category. We have one that believes in moral authority and hereditary transfer of power from one group to another, one family to another. And this is what is called the Mansa. Mansa is a Madingo word for king or leader. And I believe in Sierra Leone, we see that being applied to some extent in the chieftaincy transfer of power, even though it's not everywhere in Sierra Leone, but in most parts of Sierra Leone. When a chief passes away, another chief is elected from one of the ruling houses, which is a moral process. Then the chief is taken to a training school, which is also a moral process. And then that chief rules for the lifetime. This is an example of the Mansa type of leadership. There is the next type of leadership, which is power by force. And that's the farmer type of leadership, where the strongest man, the greatest warrior, the biggest bully takes power. There is no transfer of power. It's by grabbing it at all costs. What we call in our local parlance, PaOPA, by all force, we have to take over. There is a mixture of these two power dynamics in Sierra Leone. And one thing we must avoid is ethnicizing it, because it is found across the board in Sierra Leone, even though not in every ethnic group. If you go back into our history, we would read about power being grabbed by certain people who today we hail as warriors, heroes, etc., etc. That's the farmer type of power dynamics. We also read in our history of people inheriting power, of transfer of power, especially if you read the history of the Koya Kingdom, which lasted from around the 16th century up to the time the British went in and took over the protectorate. There was this moral transfer of power from one chief to another, one king to another. And we still have semblance of that today in Sierra Leone, in our chieftaincy. These are the issues that we have to pay attention to, because at some point, when the British wanted to introduce power to the people in the protectorate, they never took to them a clear-cut westernized model. They only tried to allow them to tweak their traditional models to suit what they would call the Westminster type of politics. And this has not worked for us. And believe it, it will never work for us. If we don't go back to look at the dynamics and the reason for these dynamics, understand them, and try to find sustainable methods of allowing everybody to practice what they were brought up to believe in, we will always be getting it wrong. And in a situation of discord like we have in Sierra Leone, it's the farmer mentality that prevails. You have to fight for power. Even in areas where there was this Mansa mentality, now people fight for power. Antem napa is kochimampam. You don't have to fight for power. Power is not something about war. It's something about appeal. Get the people to understand you. Get the people to believe in you. Be ethically sound, straight, and honest. Then you are a leader. Mahatma Gandhi didn't fight for power, but he is one of the greatest leaders that have ever existed. He brought down the British Empire to their knees, and no bullet was fired. Nelson Mandela was jailed. He never fought for power, but because of his moral and ethical standards, because of his stance, because of the legitimacy gained, not only from people in South Africa, but from people globally, he ended up being president of the Republic of South Africa. Yes, as a human, he had one or two mistakes here and there that people would want to capitalize on, because it's human for us to capitalize on the mistakes of others. We will point a finger at somebody, and then three of that finger points back at us, because we are saying about the person who we are. Whenever we say something about people, we are telling them indirectly that this is what I am. I see it in you. So this is why if Sierra Leone is to make progress, if Sierra Leone is to be stable, we have to take time out quietly and do some investigation and research. Let us find out why we are as we are. And the next thing we have to begin to learn in Sierra Leone is that we must accept when we are wrong. Sierra Leone is one place where everybody is always right. And also everybody else is always wrong. Life does not work that way. Even Jesus Christ, who is said to be the most perfect man, at some point accepted that he made some mistakes. Yes, he accepted. That's why he went up the mountain to pray. The Prophet Muhammad also accepted his mistakes. That's why he came back to Mecca and negotiated with the people who were non-Muslims for Islam to take root in Mecca. Acceptance is not about you being weak. It's about you respecting the fact that others have a right to their opinion. They have a right to who they are. They have a right to their gender. They have a right to everything that you think you have a right to. This is what the religions say. Do to others what you want them do to you. We don't have it in Sierra Leone. We're all PaOPA, but we'll take pleasure in blaming certain people. We have been blaming for 64 years plus, and it's getting worse. Is that how we want to continue? Is that how we want to continue? Being idiots and crybabies? Can we calm down and begin to ask ourselves individually? Because for most people, it's not my business. It's those in power who have. Yes, now it's going to be our business. Gradually, it's going to be our business. Global trends are forcing us to begin to take what is going wrong in our land of birth seriously. Now there is a visa ban in the United States. Who knows? They will start deporting people from the United States. Who knows? It will spread into Europe. Who knows? They will deport all of us. Yes. And if they deport all of us, when we go down there, we will see the men from the boys and the girls from the women. Life is not about having money or whatever. It's about how you think. That's one thing the Sierra Leonean needs to learn. It's written in the religious books. It's told in several stories. It's how you think. Money or material things are temporary. Your thoughts are permanent. Great nations are built out of great thoughts. We have left that side of our life. It's all about money, money, money. Everybody's running for money to go and do what? This is December. Go to Freetown. You'll see them there showing off their ego, massaging their trauma. Well, some people say, oh, he's jealous. I'm not jealous of anybody. I have a content life. If I want to travel to Freetown today, I'll travel to Freetown today. But priorities have to be proper. We cannot be eating our cakes and expecting those cakes in our hands. The politics of Sierra Leone is becoming too dangerous for the people of Sierra Leone. Every day you wake up, you'll hear one Jack or Jane or Kuso or Yenkin or whatever saying something that is to create dissonance, not consonance. Everything about Sierra Leone is about this has done this wrong, that has done this wrong. Well, who is doing it correct in Sierra Leone, may I ask? Who is doing it correct? Is this what we came to this earth for? To come and create chaos? Then we die away and leave our children in trouble? This was what our forefathers did. That's why we're still suffering. Forefathers of people from Europe and other parts planned their course of life. They understood the vicissitudes of life. They understood the crucibles of life. And they faced them without blame, complaint, or whatever. To say the Mansa and the farmer system has not existed in other parts of the world is a wrong statement. For those who have done history or who did history or whatever, there was a time in Europe when there was slavery. The Europeans enslaved his own European people, the feudal system. Then rose the monarchies, impunity, farmer. But they learned and changed. With us, it's like we are not learning anything. We are only perfecting what is wrong, because everybody thinks they have to say they are the only ones correct. That's the only way they can get recognition. And for those of us who are telling it the hard way, nobody wants to listen to us. Fine, I don't care. I am only doing a moral duty. And at times, the truth is very uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Even personally, when you have done something that you are not satisfied with, it is uncomfortable for you to sit and think about it. It's a torment. But until you face it, it will always be there. So it's time Sierra Leone begins to face its fears. Our politics is not good for us. And it's not partisan, it's not tribal. It's socio-psychological, because it's not even cultural. Culturally, there is a balance. But because certain people think they have to take advantage of a situation that is messed up for them to rise into prominence, they do all the funny things and create a PaOPA condition. They create discomfort for the people. They create backwardness for the nation. And for most of them, after they've done all this nonsense, they will run and come to the diaspora. Thank God, now they are beginning to restrict visa. Good, well done, Donald Trump. We politicians, and now let me go outside for run go. Now I make them not be the serious. If the whole world say that they make visa ban on Africans, I think Africa will develop. Yes, we will develop. Because necessity is always the mother of invention. Circumstances always brings change. It's because we had alternatives. That's why we are not taking ourselves seriously. Rather than we'll sit down and look at what is to improve on it, we would rather create confusion than we run to some other person's land to be the nice guys. Time is up for us to begin a rethink. Welcome, sir. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Jallo, how are you? Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you for this great analysis about trouble in Salone, the traditional kind of foundation of any opinion which you believe say so that can be factors, Sierra Leone talk, I wish people can listen on a wider scale and the population like
They're not listening because they get PaOPA mentality.
Yeah.
They want to that if I be the car, they can't cuss and they screw my mother building, they can't book.
They will like you.
And the PaOPA mentality.
There's one thing way very important. There's one thing way very important way, when I did something on moral political thoughts, where I talk about the theory of enlightenment. The enlightenment period where they in the 17th century. When they talk about Jeremy Bentham, they talk about John Luke.
The Renaissance period, now they talk about.
So when you look at Tego, the middle time, all the way. So all this Renaissance, when they talk now to of the 21st century, 20th and 18th century and 19th, they get a foundation to go right.
Yeah.
And foundation, the foundation they no scope. Sorry, Mr. Jao. The foundation of it today, now the thought process for begin, because there are three things where we say this thing they talk about during they talk about the Marxist theory. They talk about the utilitarian, and they talk about social contract. Yeah. So these three things that they represent politics then and politics today.
Yeah.
And we have not been able to answer those questions.
And we have them in our cultures, but only that we are not researching them.
The problem now is how educated are we about our culture for how we able
now you've asked the question. Now you've asked the question.
Because no, give me 1 second.
Go ahead. I joined the argument with you, they say.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Jallo, the problem, when I do stuff in political science, I always say, like, even in the home environment, parents want to get a structure how they bring with a family, na confusion.
Exactly.
So Sierra Leone is not bound or governed by any moral principles of governance. Where we say, if we don't get the education, the traditional education about how we sell for be better people and for get good quality of life in the traditional way, is our academic system relevant enough for prepare we? Actually, what an economics you do? If you do economics at even college level, at least you don't do how do you call them? Institutional. What did they say? What can I say? School is straight. No good almost straight. So the whether an economics you do, political science you do, it's all about how society will be better.
Exactly.
And that in the terms of how politicians will govern themselves in terms of political science, those things about the Enlightenment, when you talk about the natural law of man, a lot of people, whether or not John Luke, you talk about Jeremy Bentham and others, they wrestled with the sort of power where for them at the hands of people and where will make people and live quality life and better life. Because if the type of power, for instance, you talk about God being omnipotent, you talk about a well-being, a superior well-being, where create the world, a power for be limitless. And that if you be limitless, it means the constitution, everything will continue to govern the people in a nice way. Those are the things the way they talk about. So this real system not prepare for begin say if we oppose to those to waiting the earlier enlightenment theories that bring the Renaissance for change the world. So what do we have in that place? We don't. So what we get is people and they just come into the drum. They don't know even a Pamai day. They go inside and just they take to what people and then they do. What they prescribe for them in the wrong way. You see, so
then they do what they want do without following the prescription.
No,
they don't follow the prescriptions because the cultural foundation is not there for a balance.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, sir. Just they augment what they say. Not to say how they argue with you point to.
No, I know it is support. I understand, sir.
The cultural foundation is not there in the Sierra Leonean intellectuals for make we get a balance of all them principles. Yeah, those principles that we're talking about, these are natural laws of human coexistence.
Yeah. Let's look at the utilitarian theory. Okay, utilitarian theory. What be to say, it will talk about for do, yes, sir. For provide the greatest good to do the provide the greatest kind of good or support to the highest number of people.
Yeah.
You know, I just a paraphrase.
Yeah.
And that there are people who will say, okay, if we say for instance social services, where they for government for provide social services, provide healthcare, then for give people the money every month because wealthy. This is now Western countries. For make sure say we get housing. When I say okay, how do we provide that? Who is going to pay for that? And if the people and they pay through their taxes, now yeah, yeah. So they say if that's now for do people and some people say okay, who is going to pay? Is it the wealthy that's going to pay? Who be to say again like people are like. In the American system, libertarians, they say, no, we should not actually put that.
Well, I don't know how my own system they under.
No, it's no more now. Wait no more now. Well,
we there, then get this pay as you earn system, but then tell her I'm in a way when you they earn certain level of income, you they pay more. So it's like the wealthy, they pay their own share for run the society. And at the same time, all the facilities where the society they provide, it's available to the wealthy, except if they don't want to use it. You understand? This is a social democracy. We're different from Una get aspect of social systems, but Unayon application in America is different. If we come to the African situation, what do you think is the equivalent of our welfare system in Africa? That's something we need to investigate because we have it. But do we understand that this is part of our welfare system?
No.
You as Dr. Toure, you get a moral obligation to your brothers and sisters, not so? That's a welfare system in our own way. Certain societies, then get this Osusu. The Igbo then get Osusu. The Igbo then get the system where the young ones then they go work for somebody we don't establish for a period. Within that period, the person they take care of in food and lodging. Then after the end of the apprenticeship period, then they count in your own benefits, then give him. They make sure say he settle down, he get a wife. Then go they guide them within a period of 1 or 2 years. Let them see say you know go astray, then they left her on your own. That's a welfare system. You understand? Now, make we begin talk and say we get all the systems here in Africa, but we not sabi how to apply them. Go ahead, sir.
Well, the point, Mr. Jallo, is that when we don't get, we can say when they talk about moral characters, these are not just people who they can give money. It's a system whereby we learn something, we allow you to continue to go to life. And in our case,
we don't mess up with moral guarantors.
Our traditional leaders.
No, we don't mess up.
Let's say if you come on na standard Kamalo, they don't have poro, they don't get poro, they don't get wounded. What do they get like for reinforced kind of discipline. Then get them a little say they are by. Maybe to say they don't get a real bude. They could say wala get a real bude. To create fair and discipline in society so people can do the right thing. If somebody do bad, witchcraft or something, say let's bring the back, and you can swear. People in the field, and that gets a big thing. Mr. Jalo, give me 1 second over. 1 second, I'm talking.
Okay, Pamulem, sorry, we guessed he engaged, I think, with some other issues. He will come join me back just now. Whilst we wait for we guess, now they make certain things then clear. This farmer and Mansa political cultures, they exist side by side in most of we ethnic groups in Sierra Leone. But because we don't go take westernized systems that we will not understand, and because we don't get a tendency for be bullies, we they use more of the farmer system in Sierra Leone. This is the crisis we have. Every political party, every leader we don't lead Sierra Leone, one way or the other, don't use the farmer system. The only thing we go say is, since 2018, it has gone to proportions that are scary. Because for a nation, we just they come up and war. For a nation, we don't go through a lot of trauma, Ebola, this, that. For make you come back, you can't use impunity on the people. You are only traumatizing them further. We are all human beings. Let us begin to think like humans. Yes, we all want power. Me was you don't know, I want power. And again, me on way where I defend power. I no need for the state house for be powerful. I don't need for the state house for be powerful. Usa sit down and ask for power. Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Dr. Ture will come back later.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Jallo, thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yes, you get me loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, important topic, very important discussion. Retirement of Mama Salome, you know. If we wish we will get many people who will watch them.
We have to stop wishing, sir. Let we all take the bull by the horn.
Yes, when we all come together.
Let we all take the bull by the horn. Me na me want that for 2026.
Yes, indeed. But like when talk, we just get people for sacrifice and take the lead for later, and that's the way to the people. And once we mean for the good, we will get the special grace of God for us. That is sure. But I just want to continue for advertise on this blame game.
That waste of time.
I know say the most followed politics in the world is the American politics, right? Like the most popular. And in Harley, for Yeri, say, hey, now this Joe Biden be do, or now this George Bush Jr. be do, or now this.
Trump they do that, oh. Trump they do that, you know the area. Trump said today they blame Biden.
Yeah, well, everybody has his own politics. And like what they talk, they were all not perfect. Like what we are. But each they try to move on, leaving the blame game behind. You no matter the policy way out, maybe not good for the people that may be good. But when they look at taking the blame game, always, that is this be doam, or this not be doam, or that may not be doam, this time be doam. All of this time they point. So if that may be do the bad, so that means you can do the bad.
You want my opinion about that, sir?
No, and it just sounds like you for pardon. You be drunk. So you are giving the
well,
all of these are the same for talk. All they look at, but I told this back they do, so Mr. Make a do. At least if you meet somebody they do bad, you own duty now for correcting person or do the right thing now, then you move on. You see? So that's the thing. So all of these things, always they look at this and the country as they call it year 2000 and this. So man, you don't see the thing, would have been that year. Oh, 2005 would have been as they call the year for say that this will happen. All the mind that they think of say.
Well, you know, they justify so.
Yes, sir.
Now the statement we are making the beginning say everybody in Sierra Leone gets PaOPA mentality.
Yeah.
But make you begin to look who that in a power and find way for blame them. And why you should be there at the country, you don't ask say what you have been do that thing for help change this thing. Now PaOPA. PaOPA, now impunity. Yes.
Exactly. As this country, man get that policy, as you call a year, people that would have to remember what to do about.
So you not for do nothing, how that in a power nine for do all thing.
So what do you do that thing? What kind of contribution will you do that? As you call a year, man, they don't think that would have been in a power.
Because with the lie and gaslight we say for belief say things happen only when certain people in power decide it should happen. Well, if certain people in power now then for decide everything, let we dismantle government. Let only the elected politicians them now the normal for day. Let we dismantle civil society.
Yes, sir.
Let we dismantle trade unions. Let we see if things go work. You know, there are a lot of things way wrong because they don't make we for believe in a lot of wrong things in Sierra Leone.
Because don't take that as dual and
yes.
Everything is totally the lie.
It's only in Sierra Leone that people go with the opinion that the man seated at State House is the one who should do all the thinking and working. Well, if not for do all the thinking and working, why would I employ people for work for government? Sack them.
Election at tomorrow. But all of us, when they say issue of politics, everybody's glued. Everybody ears is open. All the ears, you know, people are too glued in this issue of politics, and they say politics you not blacklist yourself in the list.
We vote this year in Norway for a new government in September. From that way, they don't vote done. They announced of course, the result was announced within hours. From the way they announced the result up to today, nobody not care about politicians. What people don't care about now the economy.
It is.
Now economy, they see them, they discuss na television, and then they write about na newspaper. You know, they even know whether Prime Minister they or whoever they. All that they tell we say, we the blacks them, we get this impunity mentality about governance. The head of state in picture for them every building, for them every office, for them every street. That PaOPA. Legitimacy by force.
Yeah, every building, every public place.
Yeah, even the king will not see in picture, so. If you see them put the king in pictures, if something that happen, either I sick or maybe he don't travel or something. And I'm because we get the PaOPA mentality. And if we get the PaOPA mentality, if the PaOPA they slap win at the face, low not cry. We deserve them. We deserve them. That's the way we think. That's the way we want life. That's what we get. That's what we get. I remember when being small.
Some man they even go pray, go make the sign of the cross, or party before.
And I remember how for think for better himself, they go make Al-Fatiha and sign of cross. Now idolatry. Now idol worshiping.
Anyway, we really did a U-turn.
It go calm, but the U-turn go calm when we pay attention and discuss the issues them way for discuss. Not all about Uda don't thief this. The thief man then go always there because the society they allow them. Let us look at what we can do for make we create a new system. Now this we need for do. How do we create that new system? Do we want to wait for another war? We're not going to create a new system? Or do we want to look at what is not being done properly and say, okay, Lord do am this way, Lord do am this way, so all man go benefit? The choice is ours to make. The choice is ours to make. Yeah. Some of we go do as much as we were able. But it's up to the people. It's up to the people. The prophets, they will be calm, they may do as much as they're able, not to so. It's up to the people. If the people let me ready for change, the world before them be a better place. People that are not ready for change, they only want for wait for blame and complain. And the world who side on they go now, it only reach the stage where we'll not get nobody for blame.
The government I not provide work for Lord. This I not can make this so that politician vote for 90 everybody.
You know till now for do?
What did they ready now? Next election popular.
You know till now for do? Eh?
Yeah.
You know till now for do?
No, sir.
Now for try establish contacts in countries like Ghana and Nigeria. I think we need to do that. Let we get people that go the video daily life in them place then they discuss with people them how then they go about their life. Do that they work for government, who that they work for himself, who that get in business. Let we compare. Then people will come to understand that in countries like Ghana and Nigeria, people don't wait for politicians. They don't.
And the thing of very now, don't bring up to me. I don't do the everybody. That farmer in young government at the farm waiting to claim he gonna farm he go. Now everybody that is paying attention to government, everybody.
Oh, well, fine.
I don't be there. He said this farmer they'll village people there, no, about everything. When you talk about the apple for but now If I don't get the awareness, what's the loading at all out there?
Awareness for voting, for destroy themselves.
Mr. Jalo, they're going to always talk. We, the educational, the educational elite, so we see, now we sabi, now they gaslight them the way we say illiterate, and any total we tell them that is the gospel. Now we don't gaslight them. Now we don't make them don't get the awareness. Because I don't even care. Now they stand in a tongue. Yeah, at least then they happen. Yeah, you don't want it happen. So even the people themselves don't even get abreast with everything. So some are not even going to have themselves.
Well, I think what we need for do.
Gaslighted. Yeah.
You know what you need for do?
Yeah, no, sir.
The first step now for do a kind of survey. Let we know why people and they behave that way. There must be a reason. They must remind me, we have to do a survey. We go prepare a questionnaire. Let them ask people them in their own language, let them explain. Then we go spend time, we analyze that data. We go see something. These are the things that give you concrete information where they help for direct the way things for be done. And this is what the government should be doing.
We're paying attention to.
Then for the DOAM, then for the conduct and surveyor. Then for the conduct and surveyor. Not with the intention for go spend money, but with the intention for know what they really need for focus on, how for focus on them. Because when you ask people them in their own leisure time, you discuss with people, you ask them certain questions, you tell them, say, I they conduct a survey, I want to answer this question, you answer them. You get a ton of information where they begin tell you what in the society need, how na need for them. Must remind me we go do them, yeah?
Everybody, the man they claim said, hey, and the phone the next. And people they all that is me, if we get, can we not go there? If we send me farm, then it's a one. I want to get me farm.
There is a psychological reason for how people and they behave. But the root way make them they behave, so we need to find out. We people that don't reach the stage what they call learned hopelessness. They don't give up, say they not care again. What it meets them, na so God mark. And that's not good for a nation. This is why this impunity way of governing for change. Because if we continue with them, the situation they get worse.
Yes.
They get worse. We need for find a way for take with people out of the trauma where they're in. You understand?
I mean, this project by the grace of God 2026. We will get an improvement because how they do this create a radio way, even the poor people go listen and others. The message will be disseminated. I'm sure.
We get from try begin talk to the people them in their language.
In their language, yeah.
Like them programs, yeah, what they do. If we get them translated into the local languages, the people begin to see and understand. Some go remember the old one and say, yes, so that's why been they be so. You understand? That they change society.
Yeah.
Change in society is not by force. It's by conviction. Convince the people them, let them understand what thing they need for do, how they need for do them, then they change.
Yes.
Not to pass you take gun and tear gas before you change people. Life not a walk that way. We supposed to get a short meeting today and not been come quick. Can we do it tomorrow? I'll do it tomorrow in the early afternoon, yeah?
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
sir. Today I not think I go stay long. I'm tired.
Very tired.
I try go do some small job today for some people them way drain me.
Okay.
But until so until next week, then go give me small thing.
By the grace of God.
Now Mami Coca been go do.
Yeah, I know. I'm for this one.
Technical Mami Coca.
Yeah. But that's it. That's the usually best party. Everybody be the usual party.
Well, you get for learn self-reliance. This is all part of what we shall be dealing with in our discourse. We get for begin teach people them self-reliance. You don't always have to wait to be employed. You get for learn trade and skills. We go make you able to do things on your own at your own time. Then you get reward for that. You don't necessarily have to have millions in the bank, but as long as you get an assured means of having your livelihood, where they pay you taxes, then it's okay.
Some people don't think as the only livelihood.
Me, they can't join politics, so but if you not forget, they thief all thing, they even thief the country, I can go. Good night, buddy. We go talk to my. Okay, people, them so. As I say, I'm not going to stay long today. But on Monday, I go try to give a brief background to the social anthropology of the people them with regards to this power dynamics. Of course, I get for make tribe by tribe, but I will not be preaching tribalism, do ya? We're not a tribalist. I only want for make we understand, say, this tribe get this kind of leadership model. That tribe get this kind of leadership model. Then we go see a clear picture, say, there is a mix of both types in almost all the tribes them. So how do we create a balance for make one system not override the other? That's part of what we should be looking at in Sierra Leone. And of course, I go try also for make certain recommendations as to what needs to be done for minimize this PaOPA. Like for example, one thing where the educational system for begin look at is how to introduce inter-ethnic political education at the school system. From junior secondary upwards, let the beginner begin learn about the cultural structure, the political structure of different ethnic groups, etc., etc. When people grow to understand these things, they'll be able to see, understand, and even accommodate if there is need for accommodation. We have a lot of work to do in Sierra Leone. The only thing we need for exercise patience for get this work done. If we say that for all things she don't they cause infect, then this work not the work. And some of you will see them set more to watch una. Wait for tell una osh una fet. Because me not get for join nobody infect and no mix. And I join nobody infect. If I want fet, I get the channels they want the fet too. There are channels you can put your case and get your answer when you want. So, now thank you. Have a nice weekend. Season's greetings to all the Christians. And have a nice weekend. We go meet on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, history does not whisper, it speaks again and again with unmistakable clarity. From the grandeur of Rome to the golden cities of Mali, from the bustling markets of Istanbul to the scholarly halls of Timbuktu, empires have risen, shone, and crumbled, and each time their collapse was not truly caused by the sword from without, but by the silence within. They fell when trust broke down. They fell when elites hoarded power and wealth. They fell when pluralism, once the greatest strength, was suffocated by fear, corruption, and ethnic exclusion. And today, I ask us to look, not to the past, but to ourselves, to Sierra Leone. For if we are honest, we must admit that the same slow erosion that swallowed great empires is eating at the roots of our nation. Our statecraft is cracking, not all at once and not loudly, but cracks begin quietly. We see them when rural communities feel invisible to central decisions. We see them when tribal loyalties trump national unity. We see them when young people lose faith in the ballot and in the institutions meant to protect them. These are not just governance challenges. These are warnings. The very same patterns that broke Mali and Songhai are present here. Over-centralization, elite capture, ethnic politicization, cultural suppression, and yet history also offers us a way forward. In Sierra Leone's darkest hour, after war had scarred our land, it was not only government programs or foreign aid that restored peace. It was our people. It was our ritual systems. It was our elders. The Poro and Sunday societies did what institutions could not. They brought reconciliation, restored dignity, and rebuilt trust. That is the lesson we must learn again. We must rebuild the state, not just structurally but spiritually. And we must empower local governance, not just by name, but by giving absolute authority and resources. We must institutionalize pluralism, not as a political slogan, but as a daily reality. Let every language, every lineage, every region feel seen in the nation's story. We must stop treating culture as decoration and start treating it as the bedrock of governance. Law and ritual can coexist. Custom and constitution can strengthen each other. We must make fairness visible. Let taxes fund roads, schools, and clinics in every district, not just in capital cities. Let young people from every ethnicity believe they can lead, not by patronage, but by merit. And above all, we must tell a new national story. One not based on what divides us, but what binds us. Our shared survival, our shared struggle, and our shared hope. Let us be the generation that learns from the fall of empires, not by lamenting them, but by refusing to repeat them. Let us not wait for collapse. Let us choose cohesion. Let us build a Sierra Leone where no tribe is forgotten, no voice is ignored, and no child grows up believing their surname already decides their future. History will judge us, not by the titles we held, but by the trust we rebuilt. Let us begin. Thank you.
What happens when truth becomes a tool, not a right? In Sierra Leone, confusion isn't just chaos, it's strategy. When leaders deny what you live, gaslight your reality, and rewrite the past, who really holds the power? Tonight on Truth Unmasked, we expose the tactics, we name the games, we decode the lies. Don't just believe what they tell you. Ask why they want you to believe it.